What if I told you that everything you think you know about Venice is completely wrong? That the number one attraction tourists flock to isn't even the best thing to do in this floating city? I'm about to reveal the top 10 secrets of Venice that 99% of travelers never discover, including one hidden experience that literally made me cry tears of joy. But here's the kicker. I almost didn't include number 3 on this list because it's so incredible. Locals actually tried to keep me from filming it. Stay until the end because I'm giving away the exact locations and insider tips that took me 3 trips to Venice to uncover. Hey adventurers! Welcome back to channel name, where we uncover the world's best kept travel secrets. I'm your name, and if you're new here, we specialize in going beyond the tourist traps to find the experiences that actually change your life. And speaking of life-changing, if this video helps you plan an incredible Venice trip, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon because we drop new travel guides every Tuesday and Friday that could save you hundreds of dollars and countless hours of research. Now, I've been to Venice 5 times, and I can honestly say that what I'm about to share with you will completely transform how you experience this magical city. But first, let me ask you something. Drop a comment right now and tell me, are you planning your first trip to Venice, or are you a Venice veteran looking for something new? Because today's list has something incredible for both of you, and I want to make sure I'm answering your specific questions in future videos. 3 years ago, I made the classic mistake. I followed a generic Venice guide, waited in line for 2 hours at St. Mark's Basilica, paid €80 for a mediocre dinner in St. Mark's Square, and left feeling like Venice was just another overpriced tourist trap. I was so disappointed that I almost never came back. But then, a local Venetian named Marco, who you'll actually meet later in this video, sent me a message that changed everything. He said, "You didn't see Venice. You saw a postcard." And he was absolutely right. So I came back, and this time, I threw away every guidebook, avoided every major square for the first 3 days, and instead followed Marco through hidden passages, secret gardens, and experiences so authentic they don't even have names. What happened next was pure magic. And by the end of this video, you're going to have the exact roadmap to experience that same magic. But we're starting with something that's going to blow your mind. Number 10, Libreria Acqua Alta. Number 10 is going to make every book lover watching this video immediately book their flight to Venice. It's called Libreria Acqua Alta, and it's literally the most Instagram-worthy bookstore on earth. But here's the secret that nobody talks about. This isn't just a bookstore. It's an art installation that floods during high tide, which is why all the books are stored in gondolas and bathtubs. But here's the insider tip that changes everything. Go at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Why? Because that's when Luigi, the owner, personally gives impromptu tours and tells stories about how he rescued these books from the floods. I got chills listening to him. Plus, there's a secret staircase made entirely of books that leads to a balcony with one of the most romantic canal views in Venice. Most tourists never even notice it exists. Location is in Castello, and trust me, your Instagram followers will think you've discovered Narnia. Number 9, Murano Glass Experience. Number 9 is where Venice shows off its 700-year-old secret superpower, and I guarantee you've never seen anything like this. Everyone goes to Murano Island to see glass being made, but 90% of tourists get herded into crowded factory tours where you can barely see anything. Here's what you actually need to do. Book a private session with master glassblower Alessandro Barbini. For just €150, you don't just watch, you actually create your own Murano glass piece under the guidance of a master who's been doing this for 40 years. But here's the crazy part. Alessandro only takes 3 bookings per day, and he teaches you techniques that have been passed down through his family for generations. When I made my piece, a little blue bird that honestly looked more like a deformed fish, Alessandro looked at me and said, "Now you have Venice in your hands forever." I literally got goosebumps. And yes, that weird blue fish bird is sitting on my desk right now. Quick pause. If you're loving these insider secrets, show me some love by hitting that like button right now. It actually helps YouTube show this video to more travelers who need these tips. And speaking of secrets, number 8 is something so special that most Venetians don't even know about it. Number 8, Palazzo Contarini del Bovolo. Number 8 is Venice's best-kept architectural secret, and it's hiding in plain sight just 3 minutes from St. Mark's Square. It's called Palazzo Contarini del Bovolo, and the moment you see it, you'll understand why it's called Venice's hidden spiral staircase. This 500-year-old spiral staircase spirals up the outside of a palazzo like something from a fairy tale. But here's the incredible part. From the top, you get a 360-degree view of Venice that rivals St. Mark's Campanile, but without the crowds or the €20 ticket price. The entrance fee is only €7, and I've never seen more than 5 other people there at once. It's like having a private viewing deck over all of Venice. Pro tip: go 30 minutes before sunset for lighting that will make your photos look like professional travel magazine shots. Number 7 Hidden BACARI Food Tour. Number 7 is where Venice reveals its most delicious secret, and it's going to save you from making the same expensive mistake I made on my first trip. Forget the tourist restaurants around St. Mark's Square. I'm talking about Venice's hidden BACARI culture. These are tiny wine bars tucked into narrow alleys where locals go for cicchetti, basically Italian tapas that cost €13 per piece instead of €30 for a mediocre pasta. Here's how I discovered this. Remember Marco, the local I mentioned earlier? He took me on what he called the real Venice dinner, bar hopping through 6 different BACARI, trying everything from baccalà mantecato to tramezzini, washing it down with local prosecco. By the end of the night, I had eaten better food than any restaurant I'd been to in Venice, spent only €25 total, and felt like I'd actually experienced authentic Venetian culture. The best part? Most of these places don't even have signs. You have to know where to look. My top 3 BACARI: All'Arco near the Rialto market, Cantina do Spade which has been serving locals since 1488, and Osteria al Squero where you can watch gondola makers while you eat. I'm putting exact addresses in the description below. Okay, before we get to number 6 which involves a secret that literally takes you beneath Venice, I need to know, are you planning to try any of these experiences? Drop a comment and let me know which one you're most excited about. Also, if this video is helping you plan your Venice trip, please share it with someone else who's heading to Italy. It would mean the world to me and help them avoid tourist traps. Number 6 Doge's Palace Secret Itineraries. Number 6 takes you somewhere that 99% of Doge's Palace visitors never see, the secret passages and hidden rooms where Venice's most powerful rulers made decisions that shaped world history. Everyone tours the main halls of Doge's Palace, but there's a completely separate experience called secret itineraries that takes you through the actual secret passages, torture chambers, and Casanova's prison cell. Yes, the same cell that the famous Casanova escaped from. You crawl through passages so narrow that claustrophobic people shouldn't attempt it, walk across the Bridge of Sighs from the inside, and see the rooms where the Council of Ten made decisions in complete secrecy. The guide told us stories that gave me actual chills. Like how prisoners would scratch messages into the walls that you can still read today. The craziest moment? We stood in the exact spot where Casanova planned his legendary escape. The guide showed us the hole in the ceiling that he crawled through, and for a moment, I felt like I was living in a Dan Brown novel. But here's the catch, they only run these tours twice a day with maximum 25 people, and they sell out weeks in advance. Book the moment you know your Venice dates. It costs €28 on top of your regular Doge's Palace ticket, but it's worth every single euro. Number 5 Sunrise Gondola Experience. Number 5 is going to give you the most romantic and peaceful Venice moment of your entire trip, but only if you're willing to wake up early. Forget the crowded, overpriced gondola rides during the day. I'm talking about a sunrise gondola experience when Venice is still sleeping. Picture this. Mist rising from the canals, golden light painting the palazzos, and having the waterways almost entirely to yourself. My gondolier, Francesco, told me he's been doing sunrise rides for 30 years, and he said it's the only time Venice shows her true soul. As we glided silently through empty canals, he pointed out details I never would have noticed, faces carved into bridge supports, hidden gardens behind iron gates, and the subtle way the light changes color every few minutes. When we emerged into the Grand Canal as the sun was fully rising, and I saw St. Mark's Basilica glowing in the morning light with no crowds, no noise, just pure magic. I honestly got a little emotional. It was like seeing Venice the way it was meant to be seen. Book through Francesco directly. His contact is in the description. It's €120 for the sunrise experience versus 80,100 for a crowded daytime ride, but trust me, the extra €20–40 buys you an experience you'll remember for the rest of your life. Now, before I reveal the top 4, I need to tell you about the experience that literally brought tears to my eyes. But I'm saving that for number 2 because it's so incredible, I'm still getting goosebumps thinking about it. But first, if you're getting value from this video, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because I have a complete Italy travel series coming out next month that's going to blow your mind. Number 4, Peggy Guggenheim Collection. Number 4 is for anyone who thinks Venice is just about old churches and gondolas. Prepare to have your mind completely blown by modern art in the most unexpected setting. The Peggy Guggenheim Collection sits right on the Grand Canal in an 18th century palazzo, and it houses one of the most important modern art collections in Europe. We're talking Picasso, Pollock, Kandinsky, but displayed in intimate rooms where you can get close enough to see every brushstroke. What makes this special isn't just the art, it's Peggy's story. She was this incredible American woman who moved to Venice in 1948 and turned her palazzo into a salon for the world's greatest artists. The audio guide includes her own voice telling stories about the parties she threw, the artists she supported, and how she basically revolutionized the art world from her living room. But here's the secret. The sculpture garden overlooking the Grand Canal is where Peggy is actually buried, alongside her 14 beloved dogs. It's this incredibly peaceful spot where you can sit among Giacometti sculptures and watch gondolas drift by. It's art, history, and pure Venice magic all in one place. Number 3, Teatro Lafenice Backstage. Number 3 is where Venice reveals its most passionate soul, and this is the experience locals actually tried to keep me from filming because they wanted to preserve its exclusivity. Teatro Lafenice isn't just any opera house, it's where Verdi premiered some of his greatest works, where Maria Callas performed, and where the world's most legendary voices have echoed for over 200 years. But the regular tour only shows you the main theater. The backstage experience takes you into the world that audiences never see, the costume workshops where they still hand-sew every sequin, the prop rooms filled with centuries of opera history, and the underground passages where nervous performers have waited for their moment of glory. The moment that gave me chills? Standing alone on the main stage, looking out at the empty Golden Theater, while our guide played a recording of Pavarotti performing. The acoustics were so perfect, I could feel the music in my chest. For those 3 minutes, I understood why people dedicate their entire lives to opera. They only offer this experience twice a week, maximum 8 people, and you have to book directly through the theater's website, not through any tour companies. It's €35, but you're paying for access to spaces that most opera lovers can only dream of seeing. Number 2, the experience that made me cry. Number 2. This is the experience that I almost didn't include because it's so personal, so moving, that I wasn't sure I could do it justice. But I had to share it because it shows you the real heart of Venice, San Giorgio Maggiore. Everyone photographs this church from St. Mark's Square, but almost nobody actually goes there. You take a quick Vaporetto ride to the island, and for just €6, you can take an elevator to the top of the Campanile. Now, the view is incredible. You get the classic postcard shot of Venice from above. But that's not why this made me cry. At the top, I met an 89-year-old Venetian man named Giuseppe who comes there every single day. Every day. For 23 years. Giuseppe told me his wife used to love watching the sunset from that Campanile. After she passed away, he started coming every evening at 5 p.m. to watch the sunset for her. Rain or shine, summer or winter. He said it's his way of keeping her memory alive and staying connected to the Venice she loved. As the sun set that evening, Giuseppe started humming a song his wife used to sing. Looking out over this floating city, listening to this old man's love song carried on the wind. I completely lost it. It was pure, honest emotion in the most beautiful setting on earth. That's when I realized that Venice isn't really about the buildings or the art or even the history. It's about the stories, the connections, the way this impossible city makes people feel something profound. Giuseppe reminded me that travel isn't about checking places off a list. It's about opening yourself up to moments that change you. Number 1. The ultimate Venice secret. And finally, number 1. The Venice experience that combines everything we've talked about into one perfect, unforgettable adventure that most travelers never even know exists. Venice by night kayaking through the smaller canals. Yes, you can actually kayak through Venice. There's a company called Venice Kayak that takes you through canals too narrow for gondolas, under bridges so low you have to duck, into the secret Venice that exists between the tourist routes. Picture this. Gliding silently through moonlit canals, your kayak the only sound echoing off 500-year-old walls, discovering hidden courtyards and gardens that you literally cannot see any other way. You feel like an explorer discovering Venice for the first time. The guide took us through passages I didn't even know existed, behind the Doge's palace, through residential neighborhoods where locals called down "Buonasera" from their windows, under bridges where gondoliers used to sing to their passengers centuries ago. At one point, we stopped in a tiny canal barely wider than our kayaks, surrounded by palazzos on all sides, looking up at a perfect square of stars. Our guide turned off his headlamp and said, "This is Venice as she really is, mysterious, beautiful, and eternal." It was pure magic. They only run night tours April through October, maximum 8 people, and it costs €65 for a 2.5-hour experience. Book at least 2 weeks ahead because it sells out fast, especially during summer. And there you have it, the top 10 Venice experiences that will completely transform your trip from tourist trap to life-changing adventure. Remember, Venice isn't just a destination, it's a feeling, a story, a connection to something timeless and beautiful. If this video helped you plan your Venice adventure, please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe for more insider travel guides. Share it with anyone heading to Italy, and drop a comment telling me which experience you're most excited to try. Next week, I'm releasing my complete Hidden Gems of Italy series, starting with secret spots in Rome that locals are begging me not to share. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Until then, keep exploring, keep discovering, and remember, the best travel experiences happen when you go beyond the guidebook. Arrivederci.